first learned about it, I thought this would be a project that would be right up my alley. This is something that I like to do. I like to make little videos, media presentations, media-related things, and so this would be something that I thought I'd be able to focus my beliefs into a project that is relevant to what I like to do.
I was excited because it was something different, and I didn't really know what to expect. On the other hand, it was a little bit intimidating. You know, the technology aspect is something I'm not really used to, but it was exciting and it was different, so that was the main thing that went through my head when I heard we were doing it.
I was really interested with the idea of this, I believe, story. I liked the idea from NPR. I enjoyed the different examples that people had. And at first I kind of wanted to create something like that from the NPR, where I saw different people were sort of just really just telling their story. But as I went through and I saw some of the examples that previous class members have done, it was a lot different. It was more of a personal thing. It wasn't as much of a story as much as an idea that they had that sort of drove them, or one central principle that they had in their life that they really believed in, I guess. So my thought process changed a lot as I went through the project.
Frankly, at first, I was a little off-put. I had trouble understanding, I guess, the peculiarity of the assignment. But once I started to write things down on paper and develop ideas, I realized that, frankly, I believed in a lot of things, and it really felt good to piece this together and create a final work.
What it's really done, it's focused more, helped me focus more on what I actually believe. When you take time to think about things that you believe in, those beliefs, they either become stronger or they can even turn into something else. That's just what the focus does to it, and that's what's helpful when developing your thinking.
And it's made me more aware of what I do base my thoughts on, and it's helped me to elaborate on it on paper and then in the digital story, and seeing it and watching it, it makes it more real, and it helps me to understand it because I do see it in a different way.
Well, it's good to sort of write down what you believe, because sometimes you might know it, but you don't really know it, and when you write it down, it sort of comes to you and it becomes more clear when you write it down. When you do something like creating a story with music and pictures, it really clarifies it to you as well as the people that your audience that you're trying to express that belief.
High school's pretty fast-paced, so you don't necessarily get a chance to slow down and actually think about what you believe in. Doing this kind of made me really appreciate what I have, and you don't get to do that often, and I really appreciated that opportunity.
What visual does is it adds a much more unifying element. Being able to see something as opposed to just hearing it really allows more. It helps the audience know more what the author is trying to present, and it's some cases more entertaining, more appealing to see something visually rather than to just hear it, to stimulate multiple senses as opposed to just one.
It takes away a lot of the blandness that comes from just listening to a voice. I remember I watched some of the digital stories that were not with the pictures, that were just the audio podcast, and they were interesting to listen to, but the pictures it made it into more like a movie. It made it exciting, it made it engaging, whereas just the voice was not all that interesting.
It just adds another dimension to your story. It just helps you tell your story better. So I really enjoy it, and it's good to see different music and different photos that people have, because it makes it more personal than just the audio.
I especially like this because my story involved my family. It was actually centered around my family, and this gave me the opportunity to input pictures of my family into the story, which then it kind of, gave it a more personable feel.
Well, definitely brainstorming is a big one. You have to know what ideas you want to put out there in your digital story, and you also have to know what exactly you're trying to, what you're trying to say with that digital story. Revise and edit also helps with getting your message across and knowing exactly what you need to say and when to say it, and the feedback that you get from others lets you know whether you did that or not.
The writing was actually one of the more difficult parts. You had to simplify all of your beliefs into about a page, about 300 words, and that's pretty difficult to do. You have a lot of beliefs that you develop throughout your life, and so it's hard to pinpoint the one belief that you center everything around. So the writing process was difficult, and to make it sound conversational while you're trying to explain, your deepest, innermost thoughts isn't the easiest thing, but it was very rewarding.
First of all, I wrote like a general essay about my ideas, but what ended up happening was that my essay changed a lot as I went through because I put the words with the audio, and I kind of re-recorded my essay a couple times and changed the words so that it would flow better, so that the pictures would match better, so that the music would be able to, there'd be pauses at the right time for the music to sort of play louder, things like that. So it was a lot different than just writing an essay. And there's a lot more editing involved, and it was a lot more hands-on.
Whenever I brainstorm, I usually start by writing a draft first, and after I write the draft, I edit, and then I start to see more ideas that come. It's kind of like a flow of writing, and once I get into the flow, then the ideas start to come. And that sort of thing works exactly the same with the digital story, because you're writing about things that you believe in. Eventually you'll get more and more, and then you'll pick one thing that you'll write about in another draft. The difference would have to be in developing pictures and music. You want to try to get a music that connects with the tone of what you're speaking as. And so you kind of put music to the backdrop of your words over and over again until you really get the right sound. And that is very unique to digital storytelling because, when you write regular essays, you don't put music to them.
The value behind it is that not only do you get to learn things about yourself, when you see the videos of others, you also get to learn things about them as well. It's you get to learn a core belief from them, and you learn a core aspect about them as well as yourself, which is something that's very valuable.
I would say that there's a lot of value to creating a digital story. There's the entertainment aspect of it. They were enjoyable to watch. I really liked seeing them, and some of them are funny, some of them were deeper and more serious, but no matter what they were, even if the quality of the video wasn't that great, it was still really interesting to watch. And I've always liked how digital stories have turned out.
It's sort of your belief that you can share, and just that aspect of sharing it with other people and having a final product. I'm sure everyone was proud of what they did because you really have to put sort of your heart into this I believe essay. It was a sort of a personal project really, so it's good to see everyone's different views and different beliefs through their story, which they put a lot of time into.
I really do think that confidence makes writing. If you don't believe about what you're writing, and even if it's the most obscure free response question over, things fall apart, you have to really be confident about what you're writing about, or it'll show. You'll make mistakes, you'll slip up, but if you really have confidence in your own ability, then you're going to get the best result. And performing a digital story for an entire class requires a certain level of confidence, and it puts you out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. It's something that's very beneficial to both your thinking process and the thinking process of the students that you work with.
I would definitely recommend a digital story and This I Believe essays. The This I Believe essay mainly is what I would recommend because it allows the student to see other students and to understand them more. And for the individuals that do the project, it gives them a chance to understand themselves. And some people think about it a lot, but some people they go through life and they don't really think about what motivates them to continue through life and why am I even here, what is my education worth, and this gives them a chance to give some value to their lives and some purpose.
Definitely. It was a lot of fun, first of all. I really enjoyed projects like this. It was good to use the different programs and just learn those. And also, it's just, it's a fun experience, and writing down what you believe really helps you understand who you are.
Confidence is a very important quality that a lot of people are lacking in all education. This project, because it is, kind of tech savvy, it fits in with where we are going with education. We're becoming more technological with a lot of things that we're doing. For instance, we're using Google Docs now to write different essays over the weeks and share them with our teachers. So this kind of assignment is really relevant to what is going on right now, and I think that it could be used for any type of class and it would work equally well. And it could vary from what you believe in, or you could write a digital story about, say, a character in one of the books you're reading about. So I believe it could work really well.